Hey, what's up? What's up with y'all, man? I'm back. You hear me? I'm back. I got a few things I want to discuss today, man. That it really apply to upcoming artists, like the new school or people that just never knew or people that just want to know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about the business of music, man. You know, you got a lot of you got a lot of rappers out here, a lot of singers, a lot of producers that know nothing about the music business, man. And if you're gonna be in this business, man, you gotta know the business of music, man. If you don't know it, man, you fucking yourself, you know. So a few of the things I'm gonna share tonight, man, your favorite rapper will never do. You know what I'm saying? They'll never do. So, man, take notes because I can remember early on, I suffered from it, you know, and I really looked up because I had a guy, man, by the name of Chancellor Ray Pugh in South Memphis back when I was a young cat, man. You know what I'm saying? He showed me the game. I guess it was something in me where he saw that I was ready to learn, man. So he showed me a lot about the technicalities of the business, from the music part to the engineering, um, copyrights, stuff like that. He kind of kept it simple, but it grew on me over time. So again, man, this is about the business of music, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're a singer, if you're a rapper, you're a producer, and your knowledge is not that strong, and you need it or whatever, man, this the place to be. Because again, man, your favorite rapper will never tell you this, man. And I think a lot of rappers and people in the business really don't share this information. I think, from my opinion, I think what it is they probably look at it as like competition. You giving out information to the competition or whatever. Maybe I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never. I looked at it like this, man. If I'm competing, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go hard anyway, whatever it is. I'm gonna go hard at whatever I do, so it don't matter. But it's just something to me that just want to get the info out there to people in this game. You feel me? So look at it like this. Let's say you go into the studio and you wrote the song. You wrote the song and Joe Blow made the beat, right? And you get it recorded, you pay for it, right? Technically, since you paid for it, you own the master. So at that point, you should be thinking in your mind, if you own the master, when I leave this session, I need to be copywriting this. You know what I'm saying? I need to be copywriting the fact that I own the sound recording portion of the copyright. Now, if Joe Blow did the beat and you wrote it, Joe Blow is entitled to the writer's share of the portion of the song. All right. Two different portions of the copyright. You got your publishing and you got your master. That's where a lot of people get confused, man. So I'm gonna break down like the copyrights, music publishing, um, work for hires, stuff like IPIs, ISWCs, ISRC codes, things you gotta connect and register in order to, um, I would say, to get your music where the money can come back to you and flow properly. I'm gonna say it like that. All right. So again, you gotta understand copyrights. That's like one of the main things you gotta know and understand in this game. That's like if you want to be independent and you're doing your own thing, that's like one of the main things is to understand copyright. So I'm gonna go into copyright. I'm gonna read out 6 exclusive rights of a copyright so you can know what it is. The 6 exclusive rights of a copyright include the right to reproduce the copyrighted work in copies or phono records, physical or digital format. So think of it like this. So when you put your music on let's say DistroKid, TuneCore, United Masters, one of those distributing companies, right? Only you can do that because you own the master. You see what I'm saying? So that's what that first right is telling you. Secondly, it says to prepare derivative works based upon the copyrighted work. Okay. To distribute copies or phono records of the copyrighted work to the public by sale or other transfer of ownership or by rental, lease, or lending. In the case of a literary, musical, dramatic, and choreographic works and motion pictures and other audiovisual works to perform the copyrighted work publicly. So these are all the rights that you have when you own the copyright. All right. I tell people this all the time, man. You know, again, your favorite rapper will never tell you this. You know, they say this thing about the game is to be sold and not told. But check this out, though. Sometimes you got to give a little game away. Sometimes you got to, you know, if you want to further the call. 5, in the case of literary, musical, dramatic, and choreographic works, again, pictorial, graphic, or sculptural works, including the individual images of a motion picture or other audiovisual work to display the copyrighted work publicly. And 6, in the case of sound recordings, to perform the copyrighted work publicly by means of a digital audio transmission. All this saying is like when you own that sound recording, people got to get permission from you in order for you to display copies, put it out publicly, and everything else I just read. All right. So again, if you're a rapper, singer, producer, and you don't quite understand the business because somebody hadn't really told you or you haven't read or studied it, man, this is what it is right here. So I'm gonna get into music publishing, what it is. Again, it's 2 sides to a copyright. You got your SR, which is the sound recording. That's one side. And you got your publishing. That's basically like the business of protecting publishing, putting out music, you know, controlling the copyright. It's two different sides. You know, labels normally own the sound recording. So a lot of times when they sign you, what they do is they'll give you a advance and they want the rights to everything that I just told you about, you know. Now, in some cases, that's cool if that's what you want. But really, I'm talking about people that's like just beginning or, you know, indies that don't quite understand the game. All right. And publishing is basically like dealing with the underlying composition of the music, like the people that's actually making the music or the people that's actually writing the music. Okay, that's publishing. So with publishing, it says music publishing is the business of protecting and promoting song copyrights and collecting the royalties that these copyrights generate. So I'll give you an example. So if you got an indie label, it's good for you to have a publishing company as well so it can collect those royalties to that publishing company. All right. Think of a song as an intellectual property and music publishing as the business that makes sure the songwriters get paid their fair compensation when their intellectual property is used by companies. Those companies could be record labels, mechanical royalties, radio stations, bars, restaurants, performance royalties, or film studios and advertising agencies, sync licensing fees, and many more. Note that music publishing pay royalties only to the writer of a song, not to the performer. So again, it goes back to if you wrote the song lyrically, okay, you getting publishing for that. If you did the music, you getting publishing royalties for that. All right, we're gonna go to master recording, man. This won't be a long video. I just want to kind of give y'all a briefing on how the game go, man. And again, in the meantime, go visit blade.com, man. Go pick up y'all some merch, man. I got tees, I got trucker hats, and I got albums too for my catalog. Master recording. A master recording is a complete original recording from which copies are made. Master recordings are usually controlled by a label, whereas the underlying compositions are usually controlled by a publisher. You see, I just said that. So you got the label that's here that's controlling the master, and then you got the publisher, which is controlling the underlying composition, which is who wrote the song slash who made the music or made the beat, produced the beat, things like that. So we're going to master use license. Like I said, the video won't be long, but it's just actually letting you know a few things you need to know about how the music business operates. So a master use license is needed to clear samples, okay? A license to make reproductions of master recordings, all right? That's a master use license. So let's say you want to sample Isley Brothers. You need a master use license, all right? Which means a permission to sample that type of music from that sound recording, okay? Royalties. Royalties are payments made on a per use basis. In the context of music publishing, royalties refer to the income earned through the use of a song. This can include album sales, digital downloads, streams, radio airplay, and a host of other forms through which songs earn income and songwriters and music publishers. Okay, a couple more things y'all might want to know. Let's say, okay, we'll go back. Let's say you want to go to the studio, record a song. Don't just go in the studio without discussing with the person you're collaborating with the splits. All right. You need to understand that it needs to be splits if you're collaborating with a song, with somebody, all right, on a song. All right. So you got different types of splits. You got master recording splits, which is you can have two or more people that's splitting the ownership of the masters. Then you got song splits, where you got people that's basically splitting the song, which goes to the publishing end. Again, it's two sides to a copyright, sound recording, and you got the publishing. It can sound a little confusing, but this is how the game goes. All right, so let's say you go in the studio, you write the song, got Joe Blow doing the beat, and y'all never discuss what in the song take off and blow up. All right. That's where the problems come in. If I'm not mistaken, I think that issue happened with Gucci Mane and Jeezy back in the day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm almost sure that happened to Gucci Mane and Jeezy, whereas they did a song and they didn't quite have the business end set up, written down saying who owned what, and then the song took off. I think it was So Icy. The song So Icy. That's why it's important to do splits. It ain't gotta be nothing that's, like super professional, man. It's just something you can just write down. You can say, okay, well, if your name John Wayne, okay, John Wayne, I own 50% of the song, and Joe Blow own 50% of the beat. And write it down, date it, put your name on it, both of y'all get a copy of it. And y'all can do the same way with the masters if y'all go half or put, contribute on the recording. All right. But technically, whoever owns the copyright, whoever fills it out, owns it. But whoever pays for it, like record labels, that's who owns it. So record labels, they normally pay for it, everything, because they want to own the master, because of the revenue that comes behind it, whatever. Make sure y'all register with ASCAP or BMI. Um, Make sure you register with Sound Exchange. You get your royalties from it, like digital streams, etc. Make sure y'all register. Put it, of course, get with a distributor. You're gonna be online or whatever. Me personally, I have stuff streaming, but I'm more of a direct to consumer person. Because the money is so small on the streaming end, they cheat you. So I still like to do physical product. You know, so at the end of the day, um, look into ISWC codes, look into ISRC codes, and look into what IPIs are. All right. This is just a quick little lesson on royalties, what you should do when you go in the studio, splits, copyrights, masters, publishing, and how you should register different songs or recordings or whatever. So remember, a sound recording is just the overall recording of the song. It's not the underlying composition at all. It's not what he or she wrote or made the music. All right. Two different copyrights. All right. Again, you got sound recording. Think of it as a pie. Think of how a pie is. It's like this, and you split it in half. On one side, you got publishing. On the other side, you got mastering. So I just wanted to make this video real quick, man, just to show you that, give y'all a few little gems on how this game go. Because again, your favorite rapper, your favorite producer, man, none of these folks ain't gonna tell you this, man. I don't know if they scared to tell you or what, but at the end of the day, that's just how the game go. Then just a small portion of it. I might come back with some more, talking about different things on the music business or whatever. But at the end of the day, brand yourself, put out content, put out good content, go hard, know the business, and don't be afraid to, man, do the business in the beginning of the business. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody like to go in the studio, some like to get high and all this shit, and then they end up forgetting or just don't care about it. They don't think it's important. But guess what? It's gonna be important if this song take off. So at the end of the day, get your business together and go hard.